to get to the birth database, you can get there all sorts of different ways. You can go to the View menu and say Birth Records. You can also, another way to do it is just to do Command 0. And now let's take a look a little bit at the database itself. We list the last name, which is the first thing that we use as a key. And within, you see there's a lot of people by the name of Close because that's my name. And then the first name is the next thing that we will key onto, and then within that we'll go to the middle name, and if all of those are the same, then we will go and look at the comments. So it's the first 4 fields are the ones that we use to set the order of the database. And if you were to enter in, say if I were to enter in myself again and I put down my name without any comments, so I put Close, Jeffrey Sayre, no comments, Intrepid would automatically force me to either change the name or change the comments so that I would not have 2 records that were identically keyed. So every record is unique. Over here you see the favorites level, and what's nice about that is that you can have eventually a lot of records in your database. This one is a modest one. There's maybe 100 records or so that I'm scrolling up and down through. But let's say I just want to look at a limited number. So I'm just going to look at a particular favorites level. And over here, down in the lower left, I can say Show Favorites Level 5. And notice I have listed just a few people down here on number 5. Now, there is a keyboard shortcut, which is kind of nice. For the 1 through 9 favorites levels, you can just do Command. So here's Command 4. Here's Command 3, Command 2, and within the groupings, of course, is still alphabetical. But this can be very handy when you're working on a project or you have a certain type of client, all the clients you took in a certain year, or all the clients that have a certain particular problem you're working on, or you're doing a study of President Eisenhower, and so you want to put in, 30 charts that have to do with Eisenhower, so you assign Eisenhower a favorite level, so you'll know that all the Eisenhower-related charts are on that favorite level. Whether or not the name of the chart starts with Eisenhower or not, that doesn't matter. Favorites level would be the first thing that's set, and then the last name would be the next. Now, there is another way. Now, if you want to see them all, just go to Command 0. That puts you back to all of them. And you could have done that here down below. And you just go to all, and that would have done the same thing. And you'll see that I've got the names for these down to the 10th. But let's say we wanted to name another one. We hit Name Favorites Levels over here. We get another screen. And you see the names that we had in that column are here up on this screen. And we're going to add another one for 11. And we'll just put 11. And down here we put Save. That will automatically save it. And then when you want to show favorites, 11 is now present. And you may remember in the birth screen, you got to choose the favorites level, and it also included the names of the favorites levels. And when we go back and do another birth screen, if we do, you'll see that the favorites level 11 is now named 11. Now, favorites levels are not the only way to sort through this database. Just like the way we sorted through the cities of Massachusetts, you can sort through the names. Now, in a record selection, you can either click on a record or type a name. So you can just scroll and click, or you can type. And the same thing happens. I hit a C, and we're limited to those who start with C. I hit an L, and we're getting a lot smaller. If I hit a U, and there are no U's, it says, whoops, no records with these characters. And bingo, it backs us off to the first 2 characters for which there are records. And you can combine your favorites levels and still start typing letters. So if you've got favorites level 4 and you've got 30 Eisenhower records, but you just want to look at Mimi Eisenhower under M, you could have put up the favorites level 4 and then typed M, and you would have seen just Mimi Eisenhower. Now, what else can we do with all this? Well, what you can do is you can take a look at a record and click on it once, and over here you get all the data. The date, the time zone, Eastern Wartime. It shows that it's minus 4 hours from Greenwich Mean Time. So if you add 4 hours to this birth time, you'd have Greenwich Mean Time. It has the location of birth, and it has the now or current location as well included. And down here, rectified is comments, and you see there's a lot of room for comments because you might have quite a few. We don't know. Next thing you can do is you can edit a record, and you can edit the name, the date, the location. And if we go back to the name, remember we said that favorites level 11? Well, there it is. So we'll change this to favorites level 11. Now it won't move from here, it's changed to 11. But if we now go and show favorites level 11, that Charles Monteith Close record is now here under 11. Now, if we want to take that and let's say we want to edit the date and time, and let's say he wasn't born at 1240, but he was born at 1241. We change that to 41. We hit OK. And when we click on it again, we see 1241. It's changed the time for us as we have asked it to. And in similar fashion, you can change the location. This will send you to these familiar now charts of locations, but we will cancel that out and skip that. You can take a chart such as this one and put it up on the screen and say, well, I don't want it to be a birth chart. So here we have chart type for wheel. We allow you to put on the inner wheel arc directeds, harmonics, rotated, or Arabic points is often known as, and progressed. So let's just say, for example, we want to do progressed, and we'll do a tertiary progressed, and we'll just hit execute, and we've got Charles Monteith Close tertiary, and that's on the inner ring. So if we take off the outer ring by clearing it, we now have a tertiary chart for Charles Monteith Close for 2011. If we go back into the database again, you'll see that there are some here for 9/11 World Trade Center. And we'll do a transit. If we wanted to, we could take this back to a transit of 9/11. Let's clear it first. There we go. Now we've got the correct transit. We were looking at the transit from the previous chart, and we'll discuss that in the later chapter. But we could take the year backwards if we wanted to and take a look at what did that chart look like in that fateful moment in New York. Probably the last interesting thing we have to do with birth charts is that you can import them and export them. And the import is done here, the export is done there. It's relatively simple. You hit export, and does you want just ones that are shown on the screen? If you had just a particular favorite level showing, you could save that favorite level or save all. If you save a particular favorite level and you re-import them, be careful not to overwrite the entire database because it'll only be bringing back level 4. So if you do bring it back, hit merge. Don't hit replace. We'll say all, and you give it a name, and you give it a location on your drive where you want it. We recommend that you save periodically your database on an external drive, and we will cancel that out. You can take these databases can be emailed to your friends if you wish to, and that is true between Macintosh and Windows back to Macintosh. You cannot, you must work with other Intrepid users if you intend to do that. You cannot go from Intrepid to any other type program. It won't work. And there you have a nice look, I hope, at all the different things you can do with birth charts.